You're gonna be okay. Hey, hey, don't you worry, Amari. Everybody loves you, Amari. Hey, hey, don't you worry. Hey, hey, you're gonna be okay. Hey, hey, don't you worry, Amari. You're gonna be okay. Hey, hey, don't you worry. Do, 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 do. Hey, hey, don't you worry. You're gonna be okay. Nana's yawning like you. Like an awning blowing in the wind. Nana's yawning like you. Like an awning blowing in the wind. Blowing in the wind. There goes the yawn. Flying with the awning up to the sky. Your Nana's yawning like an awning blowing in the wind up in the sky. Your Nana's yawning like an awning. Hey, 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 you're going to be okay. Hey, 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 you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Hey, 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 everybody loves you. Hey, 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 you're going to be okay. Hey, 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 'cause everybody loves you. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. Okay. I don't know. We're back into that preventative medicine. I'm trying not to get angry here, people. Not that I have anything to get angry about, because I really don't. But I don't know. Just with the things that they're doing, like they're giving Amari. There, come on. You know, they have to get into their veins, and they gave him 2 IVs, and poking, and now his hand's all swollen. And, you know, disconnected that IV. She gave him some kind of medicine, and as it was going through the IV, it started swelling up his hand, and he's fussing, and obviously I'm mad, right? Because I don't understand why they're giving him antibiotics and antiviral, and like it's more preventative than it is definitive in terms of he has this is what we give him. They're just giving it to him as they're testing. So anyway, I haven't gotten any test results back yet. I'm still waiting. All right. I don't know, people. So you see how it goes? You give, you do, you bend over backwards, you give up your life. It's still never enough. It doesn't matter if it's in the yard for 12 years. Right? Still get treated like crap. You're in a situation like I am. Right? People always just waiting to pounce. That's kind of how I feel about it. Right? I'm still waiting for this lurking social worker who's going to catch up to me. Because that paramedic that had a pissing contest in my front yard with me, trying to convince me that Amari is the way Amari is because of SHAMAY. Okay. Yeah, well, since when did you become the Supreme Court of Canada with the judge to boot? Like, as if you even know what you're talking about. But because he's a man, 6'3", 270 pounds, or however big he was quite big. Looks like Amari went to sleep. Okay, so now I'm in the garage, having a smoke. In the car park. Right? Stressing out. And start crying and stuff, eh? They've been giving him medicine, antivirals and antibiotics as a preventative measure to infection until they get their lab results. I discussed preventative measure and where it falls under that legislation and whatnot, or why doctors do it in regards to, I'm pretty sure it was Uncle John, I think, or maybe it was SHAMAY. I just know back in the past on my videos I've discussed this. I'm pretty sure it was Uncle John as I was reading through all that legislation and shit, right? Because it becomes intrusive. You know, it's unnecessary, but doctors do it to, not so much for the benefit of the patient, although that's what they say. It's more like they protect themselves from negligence, medical negligence. Because if they don't give them the antibiotic and the antiviral, and things spiral out of control, for example, that's when the other party starts screaming foul that the doctor didn't do enough, right? And therefore, you know, it warrants quote-unquote a lawsuit because the doctor didn't do everything that they could have done. So before that happens, doctors have been conditioned to follow along with the preventative medicine versus the proactive medicine, because currently Amari is looking fine. He's alert, he's, you know, whatever. When they gave him the medicine, it went in through the IV with the hand that he uses, and it swelled up his hand really, really bad and made it extremely hard. And he was fussing and, you know, and starting to cry and whatever. And, you know, so I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Because he was fine until this woman put on this medicine, right? Which is I don't know if it was an antiviral or an antibacterial, it was either an antibiotic or an antiviral, one or the other. And as it was going in through the IV, I guess it was because it was going in too fast or something, that's what she was saying, that can happen sometimes. So she ended up completely taking out that whole line. So he's got a little Band-Aid now with his left hand completely swollen, so you know he's not happy with that, because that's his hand to protect himself, do whatever, right? You know, that's where his real strong sense of control is. So, you know, he's feeling a little vulnerable right now because he really can't use that hand, right? and it's going to take a while for it to swell. It may or may not blister after the swelling goes down because the skin has been stretched out so much. So we just have to wait and see what happens with that. Haven't gotten any of these results yet. He's going for a EEG or something like that, just where they're going to, put the little electrodes on. They're not doing no CAT scans, no MRIs at this point, so I'm happy with that. They're just going to forward all the information to the acting neurologist that, has been on file since the beginning, to the pediatrician that we see, and quote unquote the family doctor. He'll get that information in Amari's files, and he'll roll his eyes and he'll say to himself, "That bitch is still around." What am I supposed to do, people? That's where my family doctors, that's where my files are, with the quote unquote family doctor, the one who told me to take him to court. It's not like I can go talk to him about anything, but it's not like you can go out and get a new family doctor either, right? Like, it's messed up. And now I got a lurking social worker that's going to catch up to me because of whatever. Even though I've basically given up my life. Literally. I've given up my life, people. And this is the result of it. But I'm not surprised, because when I was speaking to Tammy's friend in the States with her son, who's 38 now, who has cerebral palsy, she asked me if I was having problems with social workers when I talked to her on the phone at that time. And I told her no, I wasn't, right? Outside of what's connected with this at-home program, which is completely different than from, like, say, Child Protective Services, right? Because, right, people always got something to say, but they're not the ones doing the daily grind. They're not the ones that are the dish maids or the nursemaids or anything. They just think they know everything because they're in a position of authority. And if they don't like you for whatever reason, right, they're going to retaliate against you or sabotage you, to which that's what that paramedic did. I had a sneaky feeling he was going to do something like that before he even left, people, because he was just, I don't know, he just whatever, right? Just his whole attitude was just cocky, right? And he definitely doesn't walk the talk, right? If anything, he's bullshit, right? Because now he's just, I don't know. I don't want to say he's made my life harder, but as if I need to have any more fear in my life. It's enough I go fearful with Amari, you got to have that heart of steel, remember? If he's not, you got to, be prepared for the moment when he might choke on something. It could be as small as a grain of rice that you didn't puree or mash enough in his food. It could be as simple as that, people. Or it could be, he did a Houdini move and fell off the couch, right? Because he's moving around more or whatever. And, instead of taking an hour to get to where he goes when he wants to get there, it's like 5 minutes. And you're like, whoa, what happened? How did you get there so fast? How did you do that? Just things like that. Or you go to check on him. I'm washing dishes because I'm the dish maid. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go check on Amari briefly, getting ready for the daily grind in terms of the meals and feeding him and changing him and putting him on the toilet and singing to him and talking to him and, and doing whatever else I do in a day. And there he is, jerking on the bed, and I didn't, whatever, right? I did what was best. I picked him up. I pat him on the back. I wasn't sure if he was choking, aspirating. Seizure never came even across my mind. Went to the phone, dialed 911, I get some person that has a heavy accent, that can't speak clear English, that doesn't even understand English when I relate to him what he's asking in terms of answering the question, when I can figure out what the question is. And then I go to the front door, right? I don't want a bunch of freaking 6'2" fucking paramedics, 7 of them at one time, come barreling through my house, as if I have any room in that house to be barreling through it, right? I'm sorting out all my court papers. I got boxes here, boxes there, because I'm trying to sort them out and take some of them downstairs. We already discussed that I'm going to be taking stuff out of binders and start numbering them up and getting them ready for photocopy. And I still got boxes of wheat and boxes of cornmeal in my kitchen, and I have no porch, so miscellaneous things all piled up, and it's like whatever. It's just stupid shit, man. Stupid shit. But there's an agenda behind it, people, in my opinion, right? Whoever gets Amari, if they take him away from me, you get $3,000 a month, tax-free money, people, on top of everything else that he needs. It doesn't matter what it is, right? But the thing is, he's going to be subject to that preventative medicine at the request of doctors, more than one, that are ultimately, more than likely going to make it worse, people. And then when he dies, I'll never get the truth. But that's assuming that they even take him away from me, being what's going on now with that freaking paramedic and that lurking social worker now. As if I'm back to being that bad Nana, right? It's like pathetic. So pathetic. You can spend $40,000 on a nonprofit, put in hundreds of thousands of hours, go out in the community and do all this and do all that and give, and just whatever. And at the end of the day, people still treat you like garbage. Act like you don't do anything, never done anything, will never ever do anything, and you deserve to be mistreated. I'm not being mistreated here, don't get me wrong, okay? The nurses have been good. The one doctor that I spoke to was clear about his intentions. I fully understand why he's doing it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I know that my voice is mute compared to what I'm up against when it comes to the healthcare system, especially in British Columbia, Canada. I'm glad that they're not doing the CT the CAT scan, right? Because that's the last thing Amari needs, is high doses of radiation. And as for the MRI, well, I'll talk to the neurologist about it. There is a high probability they're going to want to do another one, but I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think it's just egging on the problem, going to make it worse. Initially, they wanted the MRI to find out what was wrong with him, even though they all knew he had cerebral palsy, but that was their way of confirming it. And so now that he had the seizure, it's their ticket to run with, well, we need this test and we need this test and we need to do this and this. And, he becomes a pincushion, that monkey in a tube, right? Right? And if I balk at it, people, well, what happens? They call in the hounds, okay? Right? Right? You're supposed to get on your hands and knees and literally lick the feet of these healthcare workers, especially the ones with the badass freaking attitudes that think that they're freaking gods, okay? Because if you don't, that's what they do. They turn around, they literally stab you in the back, they laughing as they do it, and they'll come back and they'll find another way to do it again, if they can, okay? So why the freak hell would I want paramedics, seriously, come into my house knowing what I know? It's bad enough that they did what they did with SHAMAY, and now they're going after Amari, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, they're trying to disconnect Amari from his home, okay? Right? thinking that whatever is going on with Amari ain't gonna happen somewhere else. Oh, but I guess it's okay if it happens somewhere else, because that individual's gonna make $3 grand looking after Amari because they're a paid foster care worker, right? I'm thinking worst case scenario, right? Because of what? Of what, people? What? I gave up my life? Is that it? What? As we've got you-know-who still stalking my yard, okay? You know what I'm saying. If these guys are so fucking professional, why don't they go off and do something about that shit? Alright? Why don't they go fucking do something about that shit? They won't, though. Because they're all from the same freaking kind of cloth. They all think and act the same. Right? So anyway, I'm kind of crashing here a bit. It didn't help seeing his hand all swell up all of a sudden, turn all, I don't know what color it is, but it's like, it looks terrible. It reminds me of when SHAMAY was dead and her body was all swollen and hard. Okay, that's what it reminded me of, and I'm like, I had flashbacks of that, people. I had a serious flash. I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen to Amari's body? Is it going to end up like SHAMAY's yet? And preserve him while he's alive? Right? And then blame me for it? And then blame me for it? And find a way. Anyway, I gotta calm down. I'll have another smoke and go back up. I'm trying to read Uncle John's lawsuit, but I'm spending all my time with Amari right now. And I'm trying to get him to drink from a bottle so that he can get, peg. The only thing is I don't give him store-bought apple juice. I give him homemade apple juice that I make from the apple trees, right? He's not taking it. Then she comes and she gives me applesauce with a little bit in it in the applesauce, but it's not the kind of applesauce I make, right? That's the thing, eh? It's store-bought applesauce, so he doesn't really want it either, right? So that's my mission for the day, is to get some peg inside of him by any means necessary. And so far it hasn't been very successful. Right? Anyway, I'll be back, okay? Like I said, I'm starting to cry, right? It's just, I don't know. All I can say is you just gotta have that heart of steel, right? Otherwise, you really would be a basket case. See? And all swollen. So we're just checking out Amari here. He's getting a perm. Right, Amari? Are you getting a perm? No, they're testing the electrical waves in his brain to see if it's sparking, and if it's sparking too much, it could be an indication of future seizures. So, but to me it looks like he's getting a perm. Right, Amari? Things been good, considering the circumstances. Right, Amari? It's all been good. Yeah, all these ladies been looking after you really well. Nana's been impressed. Outside of that paramedic. The brute. Amari's doing really, really good. Yeah, he's been flirting with them. That's for sure. He has his ways. Right, Amari? There's that hand. Yeah. There's that hand. Starting to feel a little better? Yeah. Okay, so that is social worker called me here. She wanted to come here. But the thing is, people, they're not giving me back Amari until she comes to the house and goes through the house. She asked me if my son was home, because then he can let her in and she can walk around when I'm not there. Are you listening to this? And if she felt that it was okay, right, then I can take him home Amari. As hospital staff around here aren't giving me a definite answer to nothing in terms of no test results, but they keep giving him preventative medicine with their antiviral and antibiotics and their seizure medication, saying that he might come home tomorrow. They're not sure, but they're not sure only because of what's going on with this social service stuff. And I said, well, first of all, my son lives downstairs. He doesn't even have a key for upstairs people. And I wouldn't let that happen anyway. Tisha can't really stay here because she's breastfeeding. She was willing to stop breastfeeding just to be with Amari if I couldn't. And I told Sierra, no, Tisha, no. I said, Tisha, no. You're not going to stop breastfeeding Kyrie because of Amari being in the hospital. To which he's now being held hostage, people. Literally, he's being held hostage because some paramedic was mandated to do what? Be a fucking shit disturber. That's what, people. Because he didn't like me telling him that no, Amari was injured at the time of his birth. It had nothing to do with his mother doing drugs when she was 4 weeks pregnant with him. And he didn't like it, people. He didn't freaking like it. Oh no, the mother was doing drugs. I said, look, just drop it. I said, what's going on with my grandson in that freaking ambulance? Because he wanted to stand there and argue. I told that social worker, that guy needs to be freaking fired. So there you go. And then after I got off the phone, like I'm talking, like right at the nurse's station. Because she phoned me at the freaking nurse's station. I told her, I'm not surprised. It was just a matter of time. We knew that. What? Amari's the perfect child for the perfect foster family, people. He's easy to get along with. He's happy. He's cooperative to the best of his ability. He really doesn't cause much trouble. And the nice thing about it is people want to put him on these supplemental fucking food products that will eventually just lead into a feeding tube so they don't have to spend no time with him. Except maybe move him here and move him there and take him to the doctor and take him to that doctor and let the doctors do whatever the doctors want to do. And that's it. And they'll get $3,000 a month for that, people. As I'm being treated like shit. By fucking paramedics yet to boot. Paramedics that we know some of them people are pretty damn seedy. And you see, that's the thing. It's getting closer and closer to court, so why are we not surprised? Because you know as soon as we're done talking about Uncle John, but you see, they're not giving me any time to talk about Uncle John because I can't even read up on what needs to be talked about because now I'm dealing with social services, child protection yet. As she's trying to smooth it over saying, well, it's just my job. The paramedic was just mandated to do that. Mandated to do what? Argue with the victim? And then turn it into a pissing contest? And then retaliate and sabotage? Because he's in a position of authority? Yeah, okay. So I don't know what's going to happen, people. I don't. They're not giving me Amari until this woman can go through my house. But I told her I'm here right now. Right? I'm not going to rush home and leave Amari here unless I know Tisha's here. So Tisha's going to have to make some kind of arrangements for that to happen. And even then, I feel like this was a fucking setup, okay? I really do. I feel like this was a fucking setup. Sorry, boo-boo setup. I knew it was just a matter of time before something funky like this was going to happen. Make it easier to kick me out of my house, right? So the landlord can rent it out for $4,500 a month, right? Right? Isn't that how it works, people? I told you, they pick off one, pick off another one, pick, and then they stay quiet for a while, and then they come right back, and they pick off the most vulnerable. In this case, it would, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the most vulnerable, but in this case, they're picking off Amari. Because they already have a placement for him that's just drooling at the bit for that $3,000 a month to sit there and basically do nothing and hook him up to a fucking feeding tube. Because I can guarantee you they're not going to do what I do. Nope. They're not going to sing to him. They're not going to do anything with him, people. They're not. They're not. I seen what they did with Andre. They'll medicate him. To what degree? Who knows? They'll just hand him over like a sacrificial lamb to the freaking doctors. That's exactly what's going to happen if it goes in that direction, people. And then, of course, I'll be fighting for Amari, which takes it away from Uncle John and what happened to SHAMAY. Do you see how it works? Do you see how it works? That's how it works. It's called perfect timing. Don't have sick kids. You're just open to attack. That's what it is. All these people, they're not going to help with the housing situation, people. They're not going to help me get a better house, okay? They're just not. They don't want me to have a better house. Why? Because they want Amari and kids like Amari, okay, that fall through the cracks because they have poor nanas or poor parents. Right? She'll be like, the house is getting too small for Amari, and I'll be like, I don't know that, as if I don't know that. Okay? I'm not the one that created the web. I'm not the one that created the housing shortage with no affordable housing because you got a million immigrants moving in to what is even out there in terms of housing. And even them, they're being price gouged with their federal, provincial, and municipal subsidies. And stuffed in like freaking sardines. 7 in a 2-bedroom, half a floor of a house, okay? Just to meet the organized religion's need to get rich off of organized crime. That's directly related to housing. And they know you can't take it to court because it's just out of control, people. Lawyers like car accidents. I couldn't even find, look, when it came time to try and find a lawyer for wrongful injury at birth, there are none out here, people. In the province of British Columbia, Canada, with 5.6 million people, I couldn't find a lawyer that does birth injuries. Every lawyer that I contacted or tried to contact or lawyer firm, they all just represent car accidents. You do the math, okay? And when you try and stand up and fight for your own family, this is what happens. Okay, you know how many times I've had all these workers since I've had Amari, from the physiotherapist to the speech therapist to the freaking pediatrician to the neurologist to the freaking whatever, the eye doctor, you know, whatever doctor you come into contact. Has he had seizures? Has he had seizures? Has he had seizures? No. Oh, really? Oh, well, you know, you're one of the lucky ones. Okay, so he hasn't had any seizures until now. And look what's happened because of that one seizure, people. Look what's happened because of that one seizure. Okay? Bullshit. Bullshit. She wants to hook me up with programs. I'm already in the freaking program. There's nothing more you can do for me. What can be done for me is the government can set me freaking free with this damn gang stalking and the targeting of my family and make a wrong right so I can get a nice house for Amari. Huh? How about that one? And I can hire some private care. Huh? How about that one? But no. They want to be in control. Right? They want to keep the money for themselves. And exploit what they can exploit without getting freaking caught. That's what it is, people. When you really peel off the onion layers, okay? Okay? If Amari wouldn't have had this seizure, I wouldn't be talking about this crap right now. As if it was my fault. Yeah, okay. They were only hoping he would have had a seizure to 2 months after I got him. That's what they've been hoping for all these years, and now that they finally got it, they're freaking running with it. Treating me like I'm a fucking crackhead here. Or a junkie, or an addict, or whatever Surrey freaking thrives on. Because if Surrey didn't have their fucking drugs, they'd have nothing to stand on. It's the government that's running the drugs in the community, people. And it's the government that capitalizes off of the mayhem that's created around it. And they falsely accuse people of bullshit. And because there are no decent, honorable, ethical lawyers out here, we're hooped when we're snagged into that freaking web. Right? I'm blowing off steam. Some woman came up and said, well, I'm kind of like a social worker, but not really. Do you want to talk to me? I said, no. Nothing you can do. It's going to be what it is. It is what it is. We knew this was coming, people. If it wasn't coming from Julian's sister, it was coming from the public union sector. Because that's normally where it comes from. Always from the public union sector. Nothing new. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Go home and wait for this social worker to come by. Leave Amari sitting in the bloody hospital by himself. And then they'll accuse me that I'm neglecting him because I left him by himself. Go figure. Speak with forked tongue. Oh, the grandmother's showing no interest. No. She hasn't been by. She doesn't care. The poor little boy's been in there, in that room, all by himself. Because you know they'd be whispering that if I wasn't around, right? And like, he's fine now. And they're just dragging out their tests. Not giving me results. Already fucking prosecuted me. Already accused me of shit. Already treating me like I'm a fucking I don't know what here. Like, seriously, how long does it take fucking to get results? Not that long, people. Not that long. Okay? Because they've already judged me guilty. They've already judged me guilty. They're just putting up with me right now because it hasn't been signed yet and sealed. But the way I'm being treated with the whole situation, when you really think about it and look at it, they're treating me like it's already in fucking cats in the bag here. Right? Anyway, I'm gonna turn this off. I don't even know how much battery I have left. I already lost my glasses. Right? Well, it seems to be okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Well, and it's not that I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do other than just do. Right? This is how they wear you down. This is how they make it so that you just hand them over. Hand them over, that's what they want, people. And if I'm not going to hand him over, they're going to take him, and they're going to do what they want with him. And then they're going to hide it. Yeah. If it goes in that direction, that is. Yeah. So they can continue to hide what they did to him at birth. So they can continue to hide what they did to SHAMAY when she was dead. And so on and so on. What else is it? It was paramedics who took SHAMAY's dead body out in a hammock with that perfusion machine, knowing that she was dead. It was a paramedic mandated to report me because my grandson had a seizure. The first one, I might add. And he had it late in the game. Considering that everybody that I've been in contact with for the last 3.5 years are surprised that he hasn't had one. And we're just waiting for him to have one and couldn't believe that he never had one. But I guess now they're all celebrating. Okay, how about we end it on that one? I guess they're all now celebrating. Huh? Isn't that what's going on here? I would think so. So he's doing really good now. He's getting to be his happy little self. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, use just that camera. Anyway, you can see his hand is all swollen, right? You can't really use it, right? You know, they had to poke him I don't know how many times. They had him hooked up with IV on this arm, hooked up, you can see they still doing whatever. And apparently they even went in his bone or something. He's got a little Band-Aid. I don't know. They went on his bone. I guess the Band-Aid came off. I didn't know that they can do an IV into a bone, but I guess when it comes to medical stuff, they can do what they want. All right, when they want. But anyway, other than that, he's doing pretty good. He's back to his happy little self. What's this? Where did you get this from? That's tissue. Yeah. This swelling is supposed to go down. So it seems to be going down a bit. It's not so swollen in there. Better now? Okay. Amari is back to being his happy little self. Happy Amari is happy, back to his happy self. Happy His hand's supposed to go back to normal. So I hope so. Happy Amari is back to his happy self. Happy. Hey, where did you get that from? Where'd you find that? What is that? What do you got? What did you find? What is that? Where did you find that? See? He's back to his happy self. Yeah, I guess they're going to be giving him medication now. Well, like the prescribed medication. They prescribe medication twice a day for 6 months to a year for the to prevent seizures. And then if he should have one, but you're supposed to catch it within 3 to 5 minutes, then they give you this little pill that you can put in the cheek area where it dissolves to shorten the duration of the seizure. But that's assuming that you can catch it within the first 3 minutes, 5 minutes, as if. Like you'd have to have a monitor on him 24/7. Right? So there you go. It's set up for failure. Unless, of course, you're a paid shill and you give in to whatever it is that these individuals that are authoritarians that like to do whatever it is that they do. Yeah, alright? Just saying. I mean, who wouldn't want Amari if you could get $3 grand? Think about it, people. Right? How much work does it require? You change them, laundry, okay, but if you had a nice house, nice big house, wouldn't be an issue. Right? It supplements the house. It supplements the income. Right? Not for me, though. It's like my landlady said. Sell off your shit. Get ready to have nothing. Get ready to have nothing. Okay? Just remember that. Right? What I have, I'll never have again in terms of her house. Because I have to downsize and get rid of my shit. I suppose that means my grandchildren too, right? By any means necessary. Yeah? Because that's the way I'm feeling right now. That's why I'm leaving, because I'm crashing. I'm crashing here. Tisha's going to come take on the next shift. I don't appreciate this, people. I really don't. Come on, drink that water. Well, at least you can hold your bottle now. That's good. Happy, happy, Amari is happy, 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 happy. Hey, he's flirting with all the women. Laughing at them, smiling. Yeah. As they come in. Yeah? Yeah, aren't you? You're flirting with everybody. It's another fine day. Hey. Yay, hey. Another fine day. Hey. Amari. Amari. It's another fine day. He's starting to use his hand. Alright. It was scary when it swelled up real bad. They turned on some medicine, and I don't know what it did, but it swelled up his hand. But that's not child abuse. That's medicine. That's okay. It's okay if they poke him 50 times to try and find a vein. It's okay if they give him medicine that he doesn't need, just in case he might. I'm just saying. Give him all these tests. But that's understandable. I'm so glad they didn't give him the CAT scan or the MRI. You don't know. If they would have done that, I would have been for sure getting upset. Definitely the CAT scan and the MRI is nothing that can't wait. Clearly you can see he's fine right now. Hey, Amari. Yeah, you're getting back to be your just normal self. Yeah, happy-go-lucky. Happy-go-lucky. Is that your water? That's your water. He hasn't been wanting to drink anything. But then they got him on IV and his diapers are filling up like really, really fast. Yeah. 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 Hey, don't start ripping at your diaper. No Houdini baby stuff right now. No. No. No Houdini baby stuff right now. Amari, as your mother would say, what are you doing? Amari, what are you doing? Amari, you're supposed to be sleeping. Why are you awake? Amari, go to sleep. Yeah. That would be like at 4 o'clock in the morning. SHAMAY would say, Amari, what are you doing? Go to sleep. Yeah. Makes them laugh every time. Amari, what are you doing? Why are you awake? Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for Tisha. I'm gonna go home for a while and unwind. I have some laundry to do. I did dishes. I don't have to worry about the dishes, I don't think. I think there may be a little left in the sink because I was doing dishes when I went to go check on them. I don't think there's too many dishes left in the sink. But I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm tired. We'll see. I broke out in a sweat. What are you doing? Hey, stop sucking on that hand. Amari, what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just laying here waiting for Tisha, right? And I'm thinking about this paramedic. He asked me if Amari was up to date with his inoculations, right? I said no, because, I don't necessarily trust with what's going on with that, industry in general. Because he asked me if, he had his COVID shot, right? And I'm like, no. Well, is he up to date with his immunizations? I said no, because, the whole supply chain is in, it's not reliable, right? That's another thing. If they get away with their shenanigans, that's the first thing you're going to do, people. Is there somebody behind me? So I see something. I see something in the screen moving. That's not Amari. What was that? Is the door open? The door is open. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Take that opportunity to start using their experimental inoculations. Right? Just saying. Because obviously that guy was a salesman. Yeah. I suppose he gets commission. Body snatching is body snatching, people. If he's so mandated, why doesn't he turn in his own freaking co-workers? Seriously. Yeah. Okay? You're so high and mighty and honorable. Turn in your co-workers that profiteer from body snatching. and facilitate the activity of illegal organ harvesting. Yeah. No. It's more like he's trying to keep the status quo, knock out his opponents, right? And then capitalize on what he can as he promotes the government UN agenda at the expense of vulnerable babies and children and families. Right? Well, writing a letter of complaint isn't going to do anything. No. Like if I wrote somebody that's connected to paramedics that, is the boss or a supervisor to them, they're not going to care. No. Because more than likely, they're all the same. More than likely. From one detachment to another detachment to another detachment. From hospital to hospital to hospital. Yeah, and that's why we have such high numbers dying just from fentanyl alone. All across this province. Randomly. As those so fine, so-called professionals accuse the victims of doing it to themselves. It's a sick, sick, sick world we live in, people. Okay, as I'm sitting here waiting, right? I'm thinking about this paramedic. Like, seriously, people, like, I don't know where I'm at with things right now in terms of whatever's going on. Outside of this guy instigated it. And I spent no more than 10 minutes with him, with half of that time bickering about SHAMAY and her pregnancy. Okay? 10, 15 minutes. That's it. He didn't come in my house. Nothing. And my whole world's been turned upside down now. Seriously. Okay? Like, I don't know. Maybe I should... Oh, this camera. How does this camera work? There we go. I know if I write a letter of complaint, it's not going to matter, people. Because this is the level of corruption that's in the province of British Columbia, Canada. Okay, this is how they operate. Okay? I'm not fabricating nothing here, okay? All right? It was too convenient. Too convenient. Too close to court. Don't know this dude from Adam. He was argumentative before he even showed up. He went out of his way to argue with me about a dead person on an assumption from his point of view in terms of he knew nothing. He was just spouting at his mouth, acting like a bully. And then he slam dunked in freaking social workers that I don't even know where it's going to lead to, people. Really. Okay, like, this is completely uncalled for. Like, it's bullshit. Total bullshit. I know why they're doing it, though, because, it's just their game, right? Anything to derail you, disenfranchise you, gaslight you, make you feel like shit, beat you down, keep that cortisol going on in your head. Just the whole 9 yards. All right. Because Amari had a seizure. Yeah. Because of what happened to him at the time of his birth. Well, I got some asshole standing on my doorstep saying, no, that's not what it was. It was the mother. The mother did drugs. And since you don't believe me, I'm going to call MCFD on you. I'm going to make your life hard. Yeah. As he's got some backroom deal going on with my grandson. Yeah. What was that? If it goes in that direction, we know people. We frickin' know, okay? But in the meantime, I have to go through this rigmarole shit, whatever it's going to be. Okay? And why? Why do I need to be jumping through these hoops? For what purpose? As if I don't jump through enough fucking hoops. Assuming that there's even going to be any hoops to jump through. Don't forget, they want me out of that house. They got an immigrant family that wants to move in. Okay. Right. Take out Amari. Easier to get me out of the house, people. Put me on some freaking hamster wheel. As if I'm a Sierra. Maybe they're hoping for that, right? Yeah. So I'm just sitting here wondering if I should... I know it won't matter. Because the whole freaking paramedic freaking detachments, just like the cops, they work together. Okay? I don't think it's just one truck out of 10 trucks, like ambulances. I don't think it's just one ambulance that's corrupt out of 10 ambulances. It's more like 9 is corrupt and maybe 1 isn't. That's why he won't report on himself and his co-workers. Right? He's more interested in protecting his ass, people. And he's using my grandson to do it. Yep. I'm trying not to get depressed here, okay? Oh, I don't know what to think. Like I said, welcome to the new Congo. This is like a living hell. Alright? They chop you up into little pieces with machetes. They drag you around and leave a body part over there, leave something over there, munch on something over there. Right? You'll be lucky to be left with anything after they're done with you. Seriously, you'll be lucky to be left with anything, people. With anything or anybody after they're done with you. Okay.